Hello, my name is J. Robert Eckley. I'm a banking and finance attorney. You know, in the attorney world, they have an old saying, and that is, if you're sitting in a conference room and you know someone there is taking it in the neck, but you're not sure who it is, then it's you. I get that feeling about today's economy. I have this feeling that somebody's taking it in the neck, but I'm not sure who it is, but I'm starting to suspect that it's me and you. You know, the recession was supposed to be over in 2009, and here we are in 2014 with the same issues coming up again and again. And we still see the top of the market making all kinds of money and mom and pop running around with "will work for food" signs. I don't see any improvement, do you? Let's face it, this isn't a recession, this is a depression. Now, where did all this come from? Where was it we made our mistake? Where is it we can start for any kind of a recovery? I think the first part about recovering is knowing how you failed. And so far, we've seen fingers pointed virtually everywhere. The reemergence of China, Russian oil, the wars that we've had to fight, the various upsets that the economy has brought down on us with domestic spending, as though consumers are not spending enough, and it seems as though if they save, they say they're destroying the economy, and if they spend, they say they're spending too much. It seems like you can't win. But I actually think it's earlier than that. You know, in October of 2008, George Bush signed what was then called the TARP bill, the Troubled Asset Relief Bill. This was the first big bailout bill. As you recall, the whole country was behind him in signing this to try to get out and solve the issues that were killing the economy and try to shore up places where the economy was sagging. But did you know that in January, about noon on 2009, virtually everything that bill started to do was undone? And that was when our current president, Mr. Obama, was instated as president. And here's essentially what happened. The original bill that was passed by Bush for the bailout was a bailout that was to go to you and me. It was one, for instance, with mortgages, which was the biggest issue of the moment, was to go essentially into a bad bank that would be set up by the United States government. The bank's assignment would be to go to your home if you made application for a loan reduction, determine what it was really worth, and then use taxpayer money to go to the bank that held your note, buy the note at current discount values, and then write the note down, permanent principal reduction on that note, in order to aid you so that you could stay in your home, keep your kids in that school, stay in your community, keep your subdivision together, stay in your church or synagogue, and not have to just sabotage your home and everyone virtually run to the hinterland and never to be seen again, which is what's happened in this country. And then the idea was, once when your mortgage was paid down permanently, down to a value that was then current, you would have more money to put into the local economy. Hence, consumer spending would go forward again, and the glitch in the economy would be very little, and those tax dollars would be put directly to work for you with no middleman. And of course, if the economy prospered, there'd be more tax money, and that's what would replenish the kitty. Well, that isn't what happened. It was a great plan. It probably would have worked, but that's not what happened. What happened instead was all of the money at the last minute was diverted by our current president into a program which delivered it to the banks, and all the big entities that had just lost all that money by bad gambling with our money in the first place. The ones who'd made the bad decisions got it back in their hands, and they were granted the authority to decide how much the public would get. And as we know, the public didn't get much. They wouldn't write down principal interest. They insisted on all the loans being paid. And the only thing they would do is defer the loan rather than actually write it down. And so no one ever got the advantage of that tax money. The mortgage was never written down. The folks did lose their homes. They did disintegrate their communities. Their kids were pulled out of school, and they did leave their church and synagogue, and we haven't been right since. As it turns out, folks, that was the beginning of the end. That was the decision that put us where we are today. And amazingly enough, though you commonly hear the Bush or the Republican administration being blamed for it, they had actually put it right. They actually had a bill that would have worked. And yet it was diverted by an administration that we popularly equate as one that is for the people. And yet it's the one that has allowed Wall Street to prosper like it never has before, to make the insurance companies and banks bigger and you and I smaller. One has to think, where did we go wrong? Well, we went wrong at the beginning. Now the question is, are we going to be able to fess up and change that and get back to the paradigm of economy for the people using the tax money for the people? Let's see what happens next. We've got an election coming up. We've got October this month, which is considered the witching month. In the past, it's generated such things as Wall Street collapses and so on. This may be the moment of the watershed, and we shall certainly see by the end of the year. Thank you.